89.5 FM, Tracy, California, Peace and Justice Network of San Joaquin.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Da 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 da, shabba da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da, shabba da dee da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da, shabba da be da do da da da, shabba da be da da da, yeah, shabba dee da, Tobias good. Da 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 da, shabba da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da, shabba da dee da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da, shabba da be da do da da da, shabba da be da da da, yeah, shabba dee da, Tobias good. Da 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 da, shabba da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another amazing episode of Women in Business here on the Voice of San Joaquin. And without further ado, let me introduce you to our host, Chef Tobias Cooks.
Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Testing
you.
1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2
Test
3.
1 2 3.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Every time I get a chance to rap, I try to.
You be trying to rap. Trying to rap a little bit.
Good morning. Chef Tobias Cooks here with the Voice of San Joaquin. Please log on to the Voice of San Joaquin, formerly known as the Voice of Stockton. Yes, please click, share, and donate. Support your local public radio station. I am Chef Tobias Cooks. You can see me on YouTube, Instagram. What else is it? Twitter, Periscope,
Radio
apps, Facebook. We just have to put like an app. When I said just like go buy all the apps. Yeah, everything here. Also, we are so excited. The Voice of San Joaquin. Yeah. Tracy, Lodi, Manteca. We are also going to claim Elk Grove, Modesto, Sacramento, Fresno, Monterey, and all of the surrounding San Francisco Bay Area. Yes, I am so excited to be here with you this morning in Women in a Business. Yes, it is our Women in Business show. And once again, I am super excited about our guest this morning. This has been a labor of love. Let me tell you real quick before we introduce her and get into this beautiful, candid conversation that we are about to have. Look, I seen her on Facebook. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I saw you at church one time.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay,
so listen, I don't go to church.
That's all right.
But what had happened was real quick, because I really want to get into this interview. What had happened was my daughter, who sings, she does an intro to my show. She had signed up to sing in the choir. Okay. And my girl, I'm not gonna mention your name, Tira. But anyway, she kind of forced me to sing in it.
Okay. Force you just a little bit?
Yes, just a little tiny bit, this much.
Yeah.
So between the two of them, I ended up singing in the choir, and it was really great. We had a great time. I haven't sung in the choir in a long time, but just to let everyone know, I can sing.
You look like a professional.
Yes,
when
honey.
I saw you.
Boo. Yes, I am a soprano.
Me.
I am a soprano to the gods.
I can hear that, though.
Yes, Louisiana girl. Yes.
You a high soprano?
I am a high soprano. But actually, my uncle started me off playing the piano at the age of 5 years old. And I ended up in opera. Don't ask.
I always wanted to play piano.
Yes, but I ended up doing that. And then my sister sings. My niece sings.
Okay.
My father
It's in the
sings.
blood.
Yes. And so my daughter just inherited. And she decided to take it on and go further with a career. Yeah. I was not interested.
No?
Okay.
No. It sounds like my family, though. It's all in the blood.
Yes. It is. Mm-hmm. Everything. And, you know, I always tell people this, that whatever you're gifted, it's in your DNA. You
Absolutely.
can trace it from one ancestor or an auntie or an uncle, whomever.
Absolutely.
You can trace it. And sometimes, like for me becoming a chef, that was already pre-programmed from my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and all the church ladies.
Right.
Like,
right.
It was innate to
Already
just
there.
do it. Yeah. It was just the fact of taking all my experience and everything about it and just take it and push it a little bit more further than what they could do. All right, look, we're already in our conversation.
We
Go
really
ahead
are.
and introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Miss Aisha Johnson, aka
That's your camera right
Miss
there.
I Marie of the Hatbox Social. I am your creator and founder of the Hatbox, where is an opportunity for us to have candid conversations. I'm a motivator, I'm an encourager, and I am a life giver.
Yes. So listen, I am going to just say this. Sometimes it's very hard to impress me because I see so much.
Yeah.
But when I first saw you, I was just like hooked.
Aww,
I was
I'm
like,
honored.
oh my God. I was like, oh my goodness. Every single thing that you were saying from like your first podcast resonated with me. And it was to the point where it was almost like a spiritual for me. Because again, like I said, I'm not a churchgoer. I do believe in a higher power, but I also believe that we all connect with one another. And so I just felt like every podcast that you had, I tried to be live on. If I'm not live on it, I'll, get the recap of it. But I just feel like what you have said so far is just so strong.
Thank you.
And it's a message that we need. It is a very up-to-date message.
Thank you.
And it's very real. It's very honest. And I believe it's coming from a place of experience.
Absolutely.
And a place of truth.
Absolutely.
And this has been a hard baby to labor, right?
That's funny that you were talking about the hard baby to labor, because I believe that we all have a seed.
Yes.
That is inside. And so when I said that I'm a life giver, we all have seed that we have to bring forth. And yes, in the midst of the trials and all the situations, the labor can be extremely hard. But at the end of that labor, as that mom sitting there that you've given birth, just like it is in the natural, so it is in the spiritual things, that at the end of it, here comes this beautiful baby that you worked for, you worked hard for, you went through trial and tribulation for, and it wasn't easy, but at the end of it, there's something for us. And so when I started the show, that's kind of what started me, is because I had been going through so much. I really didn't feel like I had anywhere to turn. Some of the pain was just that great, just like labor pains and contractions.
Don't forget your
and
cameras.
And you're going through stuff. Like, I don't know where these cameras are for the.
Yes.
Is it
Yes,
these two?
yes,
Okay.
we have a lot of
so,
them. Yes.
So when you're going through all of that stuff, sometimes you feel like there's nothing at the end of the road. You feel like everybody is giving up. You feel like no one has your back. There isn't a support system. And sometimes we feel alone because we're not honest.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So how you said that I'm coming from an honest place, I don't know any other way to be but honest. I feel like we have made a mistake with keeping secrets culturally. We are huge on that. What happens in this house stays in this house. Y'all heard that. And I think that it's done us a great disservice because we feel like we're the only one who is challenged. We feel like we are the only ones who go through life issues with our families, within our marriages, within our homes, within our jobs and everything, with our goals and our dreams. And then we lose sight and we give up.
Yes.
And I was in that place at one point. I really was. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 3. I am an employee. I am a daughter. I am a sibling. I was extremely active in the church.
Yes.
And that's a whole nother conversation that we might have here.
Yes.
I was extremely active in the church, and what I noticed was Aisha, just me, not all these hats, thus the Hatbox Social.
Yes.
Not all these hats that we wear, but just me as an individual. I was losing myself. I was lost. I was depressed. I was sad. I felt defeated. I had things going on in my body health-wise. So there's things that we have that happen and we don't feel like we have anywhere to turn. And I was like, can somebody just be honest with a sister a little bit and let me know that you're going through something and dealing with something too? And so many people are secretive about that. So I'm just now getting started on the Hatbox, but I got a lot of content coming where we're going to get down to the real nitty-gritty of what we've been through. And I'm talking about from being a child all the way up, because sometimes the things that we go go through as a child, they definitely affect us now, and sometimes we don't know it.
Absolutely. And we are on the Women in Business show. And the reason why I wanted to start this show specifically for women is because we do wear a lot of hats.
We do.
A lot. And it affects us in business.
Yes.
Let's go into that. The mindset of the business. Yes, I'm excited.
It affects us in business.
I'm getting
too.
free counseling service, by
Free
the way. Newsflash.
Just a little bit. It affects us in every area of our life. Number one, when you're going into business, there's a trust aspect that you have.
Where
to have.
is my notes?
You
Yes.
you have to be able to trust, and we had that conversation before this even started.
Yes, and I said that last week on my show. That trust.
Yes.
A lot of people overlook trust in business.
The reason, but we have to get to why don't we trust? We have to get to asking those questions of ourselves. What is it that has caused me to look at everyone around me as if they have an ulterior motive or they have negative intent for me, right? Because it's not always the case. Yep. It's not it's not always the case. Everybody's not always out to get us. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm one of them people. I'll be like, okay, who are you?
Where's the couch at?
I don't know you like that. You don't know. Yes. I don't know you like that. I don't know what's going on, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
I have indeed been through so much. And when I say that, I'm talking about from a child up, trusting people in the church and being done wrong, or trusting people that are close to you. And then all of a sudden you're betrayed. And so when then you come in business, you're scared to make connections and you're scared to network.
Yes.
Which is necessary for business. If you are not networking, your business will most likely go nowhere. In order to have growth,
yes,
you have to network.
Yes.
And there's going to be some level of trust that you have to take on. Example, me being on this show today, I had to trust that you wasn't going to bring me on here and cut up, and then I have to cut up too. Or not, like, you know.
And poor Edward.
And poor Edward would have been like, what's going on?
Yes.
But, you know, there is a level that we have to maintain. And I think the first step of that is being honest with ourselves about where we've been. And a big part of it, too, is being able to be honest with others about where you've been, not ashamed of your story, not ashamed of where you come from. A lot of the women, even in this city, that are doing big things. By the way, we had a huge month in March for women. Oh, my goodness. Y'all was doing it. You, too. Don't play.
Yes.
Gone, Miss Chef Nicole Tobias cooks. Yes, ma'am. You know, we had a huge month where we saw a lot of the women in the city move forward and do great things that we are supposed to do. But with that, we had to all come together. We had to network at some point and make things happen.
Yes. Yes. I agree with that. And, oh my goodness, I'm just kind of lost at words.
My bad.
For the first time, speechless. You believe that, Edward? I'm speechless. The gift of gag has been given to me. Yes. But what you said is so, you said a lot of level of different things. And before we get into those different levels, I just want to go back to the mindset real quick. Number one was trust.
Yes.
And do you have a number two?
Number two would be open.
Yes.
To be open. I think, and what I mean by that is, let me be clear, because trust is part of being open, but what I mean by being open is being open to others and their ideas.
Yes.
And to what their thought processes are, because I believe no one is perfect.
Yes.
You agree with that? None of us are perfect. We all are here to sharpen each other. There's something that you know that I don't know. So I have to be open to be able to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
I have to be able to be open to hear your feedback and your business sense and how you networked and how you gotten this far.
Yes.
Not being ashamed to say, I don't know something.
Yes.
Be open enough that you're able to be open to respond and be able to hear and listen and gain some knowledge.
Yes.
Out here.
And you know, that's very true. Let's take that just a little deep, and I want to hear step 3 if you have it. But open. So a lot of times we confuse that, and I've learned this, especially in dealing with our community, is that we want to be the leader,
right,
instead of the student,
right.
And the student is where you learn. The student is where you absorb information.
Always.
A student is where you get reprimanded.
Yes.
A student is where you fall, you fail,
Yes.
you busted,
Yep.
you're out, and you go through the entire process. Also, being leaders, you still have to be a student somewhere.
You do.
So
You're always learning.
I really believe that for us women in business, because we wear all these hats and because we're usually in leadership roles,
Yes.
we sometimes forget to be students.
Yes.
But that also goes back to we don't have a lot of leaders or elders anymore like we used to. Like I always talk about my grandma. I grew up in that era.
Yeah.
I grew up in
Yes.
the era of the grandmothers and the
Yes.
godmothers. Remember the
Right.
godmothers?
And the godmothers.
There's no godmothers anymore.
Yeah.
The mother of the house.
Yes.
You know, the
And
mother.
I grew up in that church pew, mother.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
There were leaders teaching
Yes.
you how to be a
Yes,
leader.
absolutely.
They were not teaching you how not to be a leader.
Correct.
But they were teaching you and giving you the tools of wisdom.
Yes.
And the keys of understanding.
Absolutely.
That one day you're going to be that grandmother.
That's right.
One day you're going to be that godmother.
That's right.
And one day now we're women entrepreneurs.
Right.
So I'm happy that you said in March there was a lot going on.
It was a lot going on.
Because
great things.
Here's the thing for us and what we need to do in this city. Is that even though we do have a lot of women right now all over the world, we have women in everywhere, politics, everywhere that you could think of. There are women. The one thing that we need to do is make sure that we raise up for the next generation.
Absolutely. We have to. But see, I have to come back to the trust issue.
Yes.
Because back then we trusted mother.
Yes.
To tell us what was wrong. We trusted mother to say, okay, pull that skirt down a little bit and I need you to do this like this. Let me teach you this. But because we are in a generation now where it's like, it's almost a every man for himself type of a mentality. You know what I mean? And with that,
individualized.
Correct. And unfortunately, that does us no service. We need each other.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it just is what it is. We cannot make it in business. We can't make it in life without the help of someone else. And so we do have to come back to that generation where we're able to teach others, but that goes back to also being open.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we're not open to receive that, or if someone is not open to receive from us, then it is hard to be that person that you want to be, that pillar for the next generation. It does make it a little difficult.
Yes. I think for me personally, I've had challenges with that.
Yeah.
I'm very transparent.
Please
because
do.
I have
Please
to be.
Yeah.
I've had, and I still have challenges with that even now. And I've had a girlfriend who pulled me by the coattail a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, "Hey, this is me.
Right.
I'm not this, and I'm not that. This is me."
Yeah.
And I went into telling her some of the things that I've gone through and been through and why my guards are so up, and we had this great conversation about that.
Right.
But something else that I remember someone saying to me is that first learn for yourself.
Yes.
And that's what I had to do. First carve out your niche.
Right.
First grow yourself.
Yes.
First train yourself.
Yes.
Get that strong.
Right.
So that when you do go forth, it'll be easier for you to teach.
Correct.
And not be so afraid.
Yes. Yes. You definitely have to know yourself. But that goes back to being honest with,
okay. Is that okay? Is that
you
okay?
can touch me. It's okay. But it goes, it goes back to what I was saying about being honest about who you are. Like you were able to admit, yeah, I have issues in that area.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, and you started the show off by saying that we met in church. And I have to be transparent about something because I had to address it even on my last show. I don't want people to think that I'm against church. I'm not against it.
No.
But I do believe that we have come to a place where we've caused people to not be honest about their situations because the standard is too high sometimes.
You know what? I'm gonna even help you out with that. I'm not, because I say I don't go to church, and I was raised in church. I was raised in 3 different religions.
Gotcha.
Okay, so my belief in God is very strong because I've seen it show up 3 different times.
Right. Okay.
You know, and we could go into that.
Yeah.
You know, but here's the thing: it's not that we're not against church.
Right.
This is it. The world has changed.
Absolutely.
And the world is much open.
Absolutely.
And how we used to do things structure in
Come
church
on. Right.
no longer exists
That's
anymore.
what yes.
We have babies that are dying in the streets.
In the street.
We have babies that no longer want to have babies.
Correct.
We have women no longer want anything to do with the fact of, oh, I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to do this.
I don't want to be a woman.
Exactly. It's too old-fashioned.
Right.
And they have their rights.
Yes.
Because we're human.
Correct.
So, and the thing that the church have to understand is because we're human, we have our rights.
Right.
And we have the freedom to be what it is we want to be.
Right.
So the next step for us is now to take that the next step. How do we now house all of that?
Correct.
Now, how do we all still keep our morals and values?
Right.
Now, how do we all have to still teach one another to be human first?
Right. But you know what? That's why I started the Hat Box.
Yes.
The Hat Box was birthed in a time where I was trying to meet the expectations of everyone, including church. And what began to happen is sometimes people begin to think that they have control over your gift.
Yes.
And they have control over what God has destined for you because they're in a certain position. And so the Hat Box was birthed because I feel like we stay in those 4 walls of the church sometimes and we lose the ones that are on the outside and that they don't look up to par. They don't sound like what we're used to. They don't hit the notes like we want them to hit, or they're not wearing the suit that we think they're supposed to wear. And so what happens is they don't want to come in, but how about us going out to go get them?
Yes.
So this platform started because I do believe, like you said, in God. I believe that God is our everything. I believe that he is the foundation of whatever we want, but I don't believe that we have to have all these rules attached to it to the point where he can't speak to us anyway. And nobody can reach us. And we have kids out here. I am really big on the young people. I have been a youth mentor for over 15 years. Box, I said, you know what? I want to have real conversations with people that they can understand and know that life gets real. We go through stuff in life and God still loves you. That was my goal. It really was. And I wanted to give tools to people that were in a position that I've been in where you're ready to give up on life. Sitting in the church, ready to give up on life. Let's be clear. So sometimes while we are all bogged down with all these rules and what we think things should be, people are dying right in our face. And it's a spiritual death first. It's a mental death after that, because then you sit up and you talk against yourself and your mind. You begin to question what your gifts are. You begin to let go of your dreams. But we have to understand that every dream and everything that we want that's on the inside of us came from somewhere. It comes from God. And those are the things that we're supposed to act on and move forward in business. He has those gifts on the inside for a reason. And sometimes these trials and things that we go through come and it makes us feel like we can't accomplish anything. And I wanted to be that voice to people to let them know, listen, you can make it. You can make it. You can make it. We can do it. Life gets hard sometimes, but if we are able to come together and give love to each other, advice to each other, receive it when it comes, then we can do this thing together.
And that's yes. and for us women in business, all of that, we have to go through all of that. We have to process that. Because it just depends on your religion and your belief. A lot of times they don't believe that a woman should be independent. Or they don't believe that a woman should go as far as she should go. And that's why I'm so excited that we are here in this time and age. Because we have women saying, no, yes, we can. And I'm going to do it with my babies on the back.
That's right. And with my baby on my hip.
And I'm going to do it with my husband
on
the side.
That's right.
And I'm going to do it with the rest of the community as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, we can go for it. But it's just so sad that we have to push past all of that and we have to process it all to get to that. So listen, process. Can we talk about the process? I think that's very important, especially for women entrepreneurs that are coming in the game, that are trying to understand. Okay, I'm a woman in business. I got my business license.
Right.
I got my logo. I got my card.
Right.
I got my cellular phone. I said cellular phone. I got my cellular phone. I got my Facebook account. What do I do next?
Right.
You mentioned something, networking. You mentioned something, trust. Let's talk. Can we talk about the process of it?
Woo. So the process.
I just added that.
You really did just throw that in there, but that's all right though. We're gonna work this out.
Yes.
So the process of that, like you said, you get your business cards going, you got your confidence up finally. I'm gonna step out. The process of networking is so important. Let me tell you, and it can come by the smallest things. So with the Hatbox Social, for instance, when I started the Hatbox Social, I started with just a couple of people who knew me, and they said, "Oh, this is a good idea," right? Then I had a person who knew me, who knew somebody else, and said, "Check her out. You might like her online." When that person reached out to me, I couldn't be afraid to step out and network with that person and say, let's take this to the next level. You know what I mean? Or when I saw you, for instance, and we're out and about, we can't be afraid to greet. I'm gonna tell you something, speaking of networking, and let's just go on and put this out there, because you know I'm real honest on my show. This thing that we can't speak to each other when we see each other, that's not networking.
No.
I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you can't say hi when you out and about, you're gonna have a problem networking.
Yes.
We got a real habit of walking past each other. We can't speak. We can't say good morning. We
Yes.
can't say hello. Your next good morning might be your next big break.
Ooh, say it again.
Let's be clear.
Yes.
Your next hello might be your next big break.
Yes.
But we walk around in these shells and we don't want to speak. We don't want to say anything. So when we're out and about, networking is huge. We have to be able to communicate
Yes.
with others. We have to know what our own plan is. You have to know what you want.
Yes.
I know what I want from the Hatbox Social. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whatever your business is, you have to know what you want from it. You must have a game plan. And when it comes to this networking thing, you can't be afraid. You can't be shy. Go out there, be confident in the gift that is in you, because whatever your business is, it's a gift.
Yes.
It's a gift to you. It's who you are, and it's what you were created to do.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to network. You cannot be afraid to go out and tell people what you're doing
Yes.
at all. And let's be clear, support
Yes.
begets support.
Yes, it does.
So what do I mean by that? You supporting somebody else is how they're going to begin to support
It's a
you.
reciprocal relationship. Yes.
Let me, what did you just say? It's a reciprocal. Okay, look, y'all, I wrote some notes, right, before I came in here. And this note says the spirit of reciprocity
Yes.
is gone.
Girl. Okay.
Don't get me started.
Turn off the cameras. We about to have
Don't get me started.
Conversation.
Nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody wants something, but they don't want to give. Like, where does it?
Yes.
We're like, what is going on?
Yes.
Everybody wants something, but they don't want to give anything.
There you go.
And I went through that. I went through giving of myself time after time after time after time. And then when my needs came, nobody was there to reciprocate
Yes.
what I had given out. And I'm talking about even in your friendships,
Oh, yes.
in every relationship that you
Every
have,
relationship.
reciprocity has to be there. If it's not, then you will not go anywhere. So if you are that person that you want everybody to support you, but you don't want to support,
Yes.
you're going to have a problem.
This is what I say. I always say, get on someone's agenda.
Yes.
Find someone that is going in the same direction as you,
Yes.
but on a different platform.
Correct.
Get on that agenda.
Absolutely.
And also, I had to learn it, and I'll give this out freely. I had to learn that instead of me giving and giving and giving, that I had to create platforms to give.
To give. Absolutely.
And when I created those platforms to give, I had to go back to my trust issues. I had to go back to my openness.
Yes.
I had to go back into all of that, the
Right.
whole process of
Yeah.
everything, and say, okay, this is where the platform is where I'm going to give.
Right. Right.
Because when you do that, then when you build that reciprocal relationship, it won't get lost in translation. I was very clear with you. I was very upfront with you. That this is the area, the platform for me to give. I'm not ashamed if someone's speech is better than mine or more educated.
There's no
than
competition.
No. Well, that's a whole nother conversation.
Ooh, that's another one.
That's another, because I'm very competitive. But what I'm saying is that we have to, in order for us to, and I went through a full training of this reciprocal thing, and it was biblical as well, from my Middle Eastern roots, is once you build that platform.
Yes.
Like you have the social hatbox, I have the women in business, and we have other platforms that we frequent in. Once you build that platform, you automatically build that reciprocal relationship.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, you're going to start seeing more growth.
Yes.
And more growth and more growth. But this is what I tell women: don't give up.
Do not.
And whatever you start,
do not.
Whatever you do, I don't care if you sell color pens.
Right. That's true.
Be consistent.
And be confident in your colored pens.
Yes.
Be confident in what you have. Your colored pen doesn't have to end up like sister so-and-so's marker. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, like you said, it's not about who has the best speech or who's doing this and who's doing that. I think sometimes we have a problem with just being ourselves too.
Yes.
I am me. And you can take it or you can leave it.
Yes.
Period, point blank. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I think that when we get the confidence of being who we are, then everything else falls in line. Then it's not hard to reciprocate to others.
Yes.
But what happens is when you find yourself in competition, and I'm not talking about the good competitive side. I'm talking about the negative competition.
Oh, yeah.
Where we become unsupportive and where we become jealous.
Just leave it alone.
And envious. Leave it be.
If you find, because we're human.
Leave it be.
If you find yourself in that situation, leave it alone.
Leave it.
No, for real.
Yeah, no.
Leave it alone. And if they be like, I don't mess with you. And every little thing that you do.
Wait, you just said something
Yes.
really key, because sometimes you have to etch out your circle, and you got to be okay with etching out your circle.
Yes.
It's just like I did a show, and on one of the shows, it's called You Can Hate Me Now. Check that out when y'all get a chance.
Yes.
I talk about squad check. I talk about who's in your corner and who's not. And you can't be afraid, like you said, to be like, okay, I'm going to let that go.
Yes.
If we having this issue, I'm going to go ahead and let that go, because there's got to be something else somewhere else. And there's somebody else who's on the same page that I am. And if this one isn't working, I can't be afraid to say that's not working. And we got to etch that out, erase, go back to the drawing board. That's a big thing in business too. We can't be afraid to revise and always reinvent ourselves.
Did you see my rebranding? Last week I did. I rebranded myself 3 times
Nothing
within
wrong
the
with
past
that.
3 years.
You have to sometimes.
And it wasn't that this wasn't working or this wasn't working.
Right.
It's just like what you said. You have to always go back.
Always back to the drawing board.
Always.
That's
why we have team meetings. That's why you have the CEO
Yes.
companies and
Right.
the Fortune 500 companies. We're having a meeting.
Right.
It's like last night I was in the kitchen. The chef was like, we're having a meeting.
Right now.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. You have to go back and revise all the time. And really, we do that without business, just us as individuals, because we are always evolving. We should always be growing. We should always be looking to be better and do better. I haven't always been perfect in everything in my life, but I am always trying to reinvent myself to be who I know that I'm supposed to be.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. All right. Give them your information.
So listen, you can follow me on the Hatbox Social on Facebook, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Aisha, AISHA _ the Hatbox Social. Soon I will have a podcast coming and a YouTube channel.
Yes.
I appreciate, can I just say this real quick? I appreciate all the support.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. Thank you for having me. The support has been out of this world. I have met people that I that are just beautiful people.
Yes.
I didn't even know the support was going to be the way it is. I have been dumbfounded, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. I don't take it for granted. Keep watching. I got big things coming up.
All right. So your notes. Let's get to your notes real quick.
So
before we get out of here.
I want women to know that we are life givers. Even in business, we are life givers. Nothing can come in this earth but through us. Don't forget about that. No one can come
Captain
but
Marvel.
through us. We are powerful. Do you understand me? Make sure that you keep that in mind at all times, and do not snuff the life out of somebody else by being unsupportive or being controversial against them. This is not a time where we have time to be against each other, but we have to be able to come together because there's so much work to be done.
Yes. I saw something else.
This one?
Yes.
This is about, I was thinking about the whole Nipsey Hussle situation. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. Prayers to his family. But when I thought about the situation with him and what they are saying happened, now I'm going to be honest with you. All this government conspiracy theory, I'm over it. I'm over it. I believe the story that is the case with the young man that got upset because he got a little checked about where he was. And what that showed me was that sometimes when you are on a higher plane and you're doing something higher than somebody else, you're going to have those people beneath you that come to snuff the life out of you.
And you have to really, okay.
Come on.
So this is beyond rest in peace. It's beyond that. Can we have like 3 more minutes to talk about this real quick?
3 minutes. Okay.
This is beyond that part, what you just said. Here's the truth. I had to learn myself that each level that you get on, everything, you can't reveal what you do.
You can't.
You cannot.
You cannot.
So sometimes, like, when you see me mention a certain thing or I've already done something and then I announce it.
And then you announce it.
I've had people that really get upset about that. They're like, oh my God, why'd you keep that a secret? I have to.
You have to.
Because number one, I have to protect myself.
Absolutely.
And I have to be in a line with the universe of protection.
Correct.
If I'm going to ask for protection, I need to honor
Yes.
what I just asked
Yes.
for. Not only that, but I have children.
Absolutely.
I have a spouse. I have friends. And guess what? I have people that work for me.
Right.
So
you're the life giver, like I said.
So you have to be very, very careful when you move. Trust me.
Absolutely.
We all want to get on there and do a billboard and be like,
this is what it is. Right.
I just told you something out there, like what I did
yes,
last night. But
right.
I can't go and put that out.
Everybody's not rooting for you, unfortunately.
No.
Everybody doesn't have the same mentality that you do.
Yes.
And you do have to be wise in business, and you do have to be wise in all of the moves that you make, because some people are ready to speak negative, and let's be clear, words are very powerful. We can speak into our lives, or we can speak against what we have going on in our lives, and we have to be careful so others can do the same thing, and we do have to be careful with that.
And another thing is manipulation.
Big time.
Because a lot of people will take what they have in business. They'll take the money they've earned. They'll take the houses they bought, the cars they bought, the trips they bought. And then now they want to turn it around and make it seem, oh, this is my business. You can do it too.
Right.
We have to be very careful with that because it's manipulation as well.
Don't be fooled.
So insane, girl,
Don't be tricked. So you're going to have to have me back on because we got to finish this conversation one day.
In saying that, it is so much bigger than what it was, because we have to understand the small-minded can't grasp your giraffe dream.
That's right. Absolutely.
When our president Obama,
our current
President Obama was running for office,
right?
He did not devour all his plans.
He couldn't.
Every single thing that he was going to do, every single strategy.
Right.
And in the beginning, I love what you said. And when I started the hat box, I know exactly what I'm going to do with it.
Absolutely.
Same thing for me. When I very first went to culinary, when I very first went to culinary school, my husband and I sat down and we laid out a 10-year plan.
Right.
We're in 5 years of that plan. And I told you what the other lead to.
Oh, I'm excited.
But the thing, what you just said, just hit it right on the nail.
It's true.
ladies, the levels that you grow to,
Yes.
everyone will not go to it.
No.
But get on someone's agenda. Look at what's
Yes,
doing who.
absolutely.
Someone is doing something that you can't do. Someone
Yes.
is doing something
Somebody
you just can't
is
do.
doing something you cannot
Get
do.
on their agenda.
Absolutely.
Just get on their agenda.
Absolutely. And shine.
Yes.
And shine when you get on
Yes.
it.
So listen, I am Chef Tobias Cooks
Hey.
here with Women in Business. And I am so honored to have this platform to bring on powerhouses as such as you
Thank
and
you.
my other guests that has been able to come on.
And thank
we
you for
have
having
to do
me.
a part two.
We
of this.
do.
We, gotta
We
do.
do.
A
Thank you
late-
for having
a
me.
late night podcast.
Yes,
It's like
and do a part two.
late night.
We giving hints over here, y'all.
Yes,
Yes, we do.
yes. A late night one. Edward, you are not
Absolutely.
invited,
No,
okay?
right. Yeah, that conversation was getting
Yo,
good. We're going to have
this
to
is
finish
for,
this
This
one.
is for Captain Marvel, okay? Conversation. All right. Yes, I'm going to lose myself on the radio show. It's supposed to be so professional. Give me your information
You
one
good.
more time.
Once again, you can follow
Yes.
me here on Facebook at the
Yes.
Hatbox Social and also on Instagram at Aisha, AISHA _ the Hatbox Social.
All right. And tell them about that, a little bit more about the Hatbox.
So the
how
Hatbox
they could
Social,
be involved in
you
it.
can be involved in the Hatbox Social. We have a couple things going on. I go live and I do shows every other Monday. My next upcoming show is this Monday coming up. I always put out an announcement with the title of those shows. This next one is going to be called Withholding Love. You do not want to miss that show. It kind of goes along with a little bit of what we're talking about right now. I am here to empower, to encourage, and to motivate you and to push you further into pursuing your dreams. And my motto is always, don't forget about you and all the hats that you wear as a mother, as a father, all of those hats that you wear. Sometimes we have to put them down, put them in the box, and remember who we are as an individual. And I encourage you to do that. That is the purpose of the Hatbox Social.
All right, Powerhouse today here in the Women in Business. I am so excited. I'm sure we're going to continue this conversation.
I hope so.
For a long time
Yes,
after
ma'am.
this. I'm so excited. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you for accepting
I
my
appreciate it.
invitation.
Thank you for having me.
And I am so honored that you were
Thank
able
you.
to come out and speak life into women in business.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Please go on to the Voice of San Joaquin, formerly known the Voice of Stockton. Support your local radio station. Yes, yes. Guess what? 100. I have 102 episodes
All
now.
right, you better get it, girl.
Yes, yes.
102.
I just keep. I'm like the train that would. I just keep going.
Keep
if I get
going.
one like, I'll be like, yes, one like, one like.
That's how you're supposed to be.
And I just
celebrate.
keep it going. Yes. So a 100 episode. I am throwing myself a party.
Yes,
I
you
am
should.
so excited. And I just came back from the Taste Awards out in Beverly Woods. That also recognized my show as well as the culinary
Yes,
world,
ma'am.
the culinary media. Chef Tobias Cooks here with the Voice of San Joaquin. Please once again support the Voice of San Joaquin. Please click like and share and donate so that we could bring on more people from the San Joaquin. Chef Tobias Cooks, you can look me up, Chef Tobias Cooks, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We are going to go ahead and get out of here. Give me your information one more time.
Once
at where
again,
we gotta go.
on Facebook, the Hatbox Social, Instagram at Aisha, AISHA _ the Hatbox Social. Follow me, y'all. Go and like the page.
Yes. See you next week. Women in Business.
Ba-di-da-doo-da-da-da-da. Shada-ba-da-dee-da-da-da-da. Shada-la-da-dee-da-doo-da-da-da. Shada-ba-da-dee-da-da-da-da. Shada-ba-da-dee-da-doo-da-da-da-da. Shada-